Hey guys, welcome back here to today's episode of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel and checking the video out. And guys, today we are going to be talking about jerk baits, and I've actually got a bunch of on the water jerk bait video that I filmed yesterday I want to share with you guys. I actually made a video yesterday for my Intuitive Angling channel, but I want to share with you guys a couple clips. We're going to do something a little different today. I want to share you guys some key clips that I did on this on the water jerkbait fishing yesterday at Table Rock Lake that gives you a really good demonstration of what I talk about in terms of wintertime jerkbait fishing. A lot of you guys that follow me, some of you guys, or a lot of you guys follow all three of my channels, but if you don't, I love jerkbait fishing, and I love jerkbait fishing in the wintertime. There's something about the bite on a jerkbait that is just, it's just like, it's not anything like anything else. It's hard to describe. And a lot of guys that I know that fish here in the Ozarks, you know, like myself, they say the same thing. It's like we have an opportunity here in the Ozarks to fish about every technique, top waters, crankbaits, pitching and flipping, whatever. And you can't beat a good jerkbait bite. So, you know, hopefully this video is going to help you guys out. So we're going to get ready to show you guys that in today's episode here. Also, guys, a couple quick things before we get started. Just want to remind everybody, Tackle Warehouse is they still got that big holiday sale going on. They haven't taken off the website yet. If you guys are interested in taking advantage of that and getting you guys some fishing tackle or the jerk baits I talk about in the video that I'm going to show you, I'll have my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video here. And also, guys, quick reminder, you guys may have heard me talking about it. I'm getting ready to start a live stream. And the live stream that I'm going to do is probably going to be about once a week. We're probably going to start it in 2-3 weeks. It's going to be available to Patreon members of the channel and channel members. So if you guys would like to do that, just sign up as a member here on the Advanced Bass Fishing by going to my homepage, hit the join button, and you can go into the video description and become a Patreon member if you'd like to as well. But it's going to be a good deal. It's just something I want to give back to people that support the channel, and it's going to be a fun time there. So, okay, without further ado, let's get into this little video clip, then I'll come back and follow up with some commentary at the end. Okay, guys, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the baits and how you want to work a jerkbait for wintertime bass fishing. And then after that, I'm going to get out on the lake here, and I'm going to show you the type of areas that I like to fish. And there's quite a few different type of places that fish get in the wintertime that you can catch them jerking that don't involve forward-facing sonar, just traditional bass fishing. So first of all, let's go over the baits and the tackle and how you want to manipulate this bait, because cold water bass, their mood and their behavior is different than other times of the year. When you got water temperatures in the 40s and 50s, the metabolism of the bass changes a little bit. They don't really, they're not like a snake or a turtle where they get completely dormant, but they do slow down a little bit. And how you want to work a jerkbait has a lot to do with the combination of the water clarity and water temperature in correlation with each other. But the baits I want to use are pretty key here. It's going to make a big difference in how many fish you catch. First of all, the only thing I use is Megabass jerkbaits. You guys know that. I helped design the Megabass Vision 110 back in the late 90s. I do not use the 110 in wintertime fishing. This is a 4.5-inch standard size jerkbait. But the ones that I use is I downsize in the wintertime. Now this is critical to catching bass in the winter, and there's two different ones I use. One is this Megabass X80 Trick Darter, and the other is the Megabass X Nanohan Plus 2, which I forgot the box, but I'll just tell you what it is. These are finesse jerkbaits. They're a little over 3 inches long. I'll link both of these guys in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to pick a couple up using my link there. But you want to go to a downsized jerkbait. The combination of the slower metabolism, the colder water temperatures, the general mood and the personality of the fish, you'll get 10 times more bites on a finesse bait like the X80 Trick Darter by Megabass than you will the full-size one. Let's say, for example, we both went fishing, and one of us has got the Megabass 110 on, and one of us has got the X80 on. Whoever's got the X80 on in the wintertime situation is probably going to catch 5 times more fish than on the 110. Now this is especially important as the colder the water gets. Once that water temperature gets down in the 40s especially, and especially if you've got clear water, like water visibility over 4 foot, that's when the finesse jerkbait is going to work. Now, you couple up this with light line. One of the big keys on it is you got to go light on your line. I use 6-pound test Seagar and VizX fluorocarbon line, and I use a spinning rod 100% of the time. Megabass, medium action, 6'11", and just a good quality 3000 series spinning reel. And the purpose of this, and if you guys have heard me talk about jerk baits a lot, you can manipulate a jerk bait and you can put action on a jerk bait with a spinning rod that you cannot duplicate on a bait caster. The biggest advice I'll give you guys for jerkbait fishing in the wintertime or any other time: never use a bait caster. Go with a spinning outfit 100% of the time. I can promise you guys, if you're out on the water lesson with me and you use a bait caster and I show you how to use a spinning rod, you'll be begging for a spinning rod by the end of the day. You can just do so much more with the bait. Okay, now we're going to get up there. I'm going to show you exactly how to work a jerkbait for wintertime bass fishing. So let's go try that. Okay guys, now I'm going to run through the whole system on how to work a jerkbait for wintertime fishing. Now there's a couple other things before we get started I want to really reiterate. First of all, it's very important in the wintertime that your jerkbait sinks. You don't want a jerkbait that floats up, and you don't want one that suspends. You want one that slow sinks. So the way you do that, you can either put some suspend strips on the bottom of your jerkbait or put maybe a little bit larger hooks. And I like it to sink probably about, I don't know, a foot every 10 seconds, just a nice slow sink, because what that does is it allows you to control the depth of the jerkbait, and it acts as like a wounded dying shad sinking instead of floating up, which is really critical. And then also guys, make sure when you're using a spinning outfit, never use your drag. We talked about this before. You need to learn how to back reel like this, because what happens is if you get a bass it's like hooked by one barb of the treble, you can put a minimum amount of pressure and you can control it a lot better with back reeling than you can with the drag. So just learn to back reel. Okay, now the first thing you want to do is, it's very critical in the wintertime to get the maximum depth out of your bait. So how you do that is a combination of your casting distance and the light line. So I've got 6-pound test line, and I want to make sure that I make the longest cast possible, because by getting the cast longer, it allows my bait to get down deeper and stay deeper longer, which is the sweet spot. Now, on any jerkbait cast, you have a sweet spot of about 20 to 30 feet where the bait is at its deepest part. This is when you're going to catch your quality fish. So the longer cast that you make, the longer you have in the sweet spot. So I'm going to run you through how I like to fish it. So first of all, I'm going to make the longest cast that I can, and then I want to get the bait down. Now, when I want to get the bait down, I'm jerking it harder than I'm going to be working it. So I jerk it about 8 or 9 times, 8, 9, 10, something like that. Now, after I've jerked it about 8 or 10 times, the bait is down pretty close to its depth that it's going to be. So once it's down there, I'm not going to jerk, pause. I'm going to pop it just gently like that, let it set, and then I'm going to vibrate that rod tip. Just look at my wrist right here. See how my wrist is vibrating? It's actually, I'm vibrating that line on a loose line, and I do that for maybe 8 or 9 times, and I'll pop it gently like that, let it set, and I'll vibrate it again like that. Let it set, pop it again, vibrate it like that. And I'm paying close attention to my line, because most of the time the strike is going to come when you pop it down like that, or when it's setting still, you're going to see your line just tick with it. So let me run through that again. I'll run through it as more of a real world cast here. Long cast. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just let it set for just a little bit. Shake it a little bit. Pop it. Let it set. Vibrate it a little bit. Pop it. Vibrate a little bit. Pop it. And that's my cast for the wintertime fishing. Now, I'm going to repeat that throughout the course of the day. And sometimes you may have to slow down a little bit. Sometimes you may have to speed it up depending upon the mood of the fish. If you have colder, more off-colored water, say for example that water visibility is about 3 feet and the water temperature is 45, then you may have to slow it down more. And if it's cleaner, say the water's like 4 to 5 foot of visibility, water temperature is closer to 50, you don't have to pause as long. You can speed it up a little bit more. So that's how we do it. Now let's get out there. I'm going to show you what to look for, the best jerkbait structures on the lake here. This feels like a pretty good fish, pretty heavy.
Is it? What do you think it is?
It's either, this is either a big one or if it's a foul hooked on one of the two.
Uh-oh.
There he comes up. Man, this feels like a nice fish.
Do you have a net?
Man, it's heavy. I can't bring him up. It's super heavy. Oh, it's a foul hooked one.
Oh.
Oh, it's still a nice fish.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that's that Mega Bass X80 trick darter I was telling you guys about. Nice, really nice, solid tournament fish there.
About how big was that one?
Probably 3 1/4 or 3 pounds.
Oh.
Hey guys, I just showed you a main lake point. Now we're going to talk about a secondary point. Now, main lake and secondary points are by far my two favorite wintertime jerkbait locations. And right here, we've got a really good example of a nice secondary point. Now, again, the difference is this point is located in a creek arm, and it can be a cove arm too. That's what differentiates main lake and secondary points, is their proximity to the main lake or a creek. Now, bass love to get on these secondary points because in a major creek arm like we're in now, they live here all year long, and you can catch a bunch of fish on it. So what I like to do is I'm going to show you how I approach this. I usually stop about 50 to 100 yards before the actual point end here, and then I work around the other side. And what I like to do is get my boat out 20 to 30 foot of water, depending upon the water clarity, and I'm going to saturate this whole area with casts. I'm going to 45-degree angle straight in. I'm going to cast out in open water, just trying to get that jerk bait down in as many areas that I possibly can on this point. So a lot of times they can live all over it. You might catch some fish, 50, 100 yards from the point. Sometimes they may be right on the end of the point. A lot of it depends on time of the day, depends on the wind speed, wind direction, sunlight angle. And like I said, you're fishing to find fish. That's the great thing about this. And that's one of the reasons that I don't use, a lot of the, forward facing sonar and the technologies. I don't want to know what's on this point. It's like, I want it to be a mystery. It's like, the anticipation of not knowing if there's one here or not is just like something that I really enjoy. So I'll just work nice and slow and methodically around here. And another thing about fishing a jerkbait this time of year is once your jerk bait starts coming up, like, once you've maxed out your depth and the bait actually starts coming up, I go ahead and reel it in. I don't even waste time with it. I'm really concentrating on getting that bait in that maximum part as long as I possibly can. And I'll just slowly work my way around through here till I get to the point of the point itself. Now, one thing that I found about a lot of point fishing with a jerkbait is the fish don't necessarily get right on the end of the point as much as they do the sides. The sides usually offer a little bit sharper of a drop, and you'll find out in wintertime jerkbait fishing, they like to be on vertical structures a little bit more. So that's why the sides tend to be a little bit better with that. There's another good example. You can notice right across the cove over there. That's another little secondary point leading out here. Either one of those, really good places for fish. In fact, that little point right there actually looks better than this one. But you got to fish them all, man. You don't ever, know which one's going to have a fish on it one day to the next. You may pull up here today and not catch one on this point and pull in here tomorrow and catch one because these fish just move up and down these creek channels almost like a highway. Get on to the next spot here. As the last wintertime jerkbait place I'm going to show you guys today is what I call a ditch or a gut. You probably heard me talking about this before. This is very common, especially back in the eastern part of the country, like Lake Hartwell, Lake Murray, those type of lakes, Clark's Hill. And a gut is just like you can see right here. It's the middle of a cove towards the back end of the cove. Now, what happens is these fish will move back into these ditches or guts about 2/3 of the way back into these coves, and they'll either get on the bottom or they're going to suspend all winter long. And what I like to do is I like to come back in the cove until I hit about 20 to 25 foot of water. And then what I do is, like right now we're in 25 foot, I'll make a long cast right down the middle of the gut, just like this. And I'm just going to work it, straight down the middle, just like that. Now, a lot of times, some of them may be in deeper water, 20 to 25 feet. Some of them may be in 5 to 10 feet. Try to keep an eye on any type of bait fish schools on your 2D sonar. That's a good indication if there's going to be many fish there or not, or any type of underwater structure like brush. But what I like to do is just get back in here and just slowly work my way, back into the cove until the water gets about 10 feet deep. Once that water starts to get about 10 feet or so, probably not going to catch a lot. And I'll throw off to the side sometimes too. I don't have to throw like right in the middle. Sometimes I'll throw at a 45-degree angle. And this is a really good type of place to catch a school of fish, because a lot of times those fish on the points may be little wolf packs or individual fish. But I've seen situations back in these guts where you'll pull in here and you might catch 10 or 15 out of one little school that are suspended up, chasing some shad around. So that is a prime area, especially if you have a lake that has, any type of like blueback herring. Blueback herring lakes are notorious for these ditches to be working good. So let's get on to the next deal. Okay, guys, there you go. Just a little video clip. It's something we don't do here a lot on the channel. You hear me talking a lot in the tackle room. Just wanted to mix it up a little bit and give you guys some on the water action if you didn't get a chance to see it on the other channel. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate all the support here you guys have given me on advanced bass fishing. Please feel free to shoot me all your video ideas. And probably the best way to get a hold of me, guys, if you have a video you want me to do, shoot me a private message on my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler. I check that, but man, on the 3 channels I get thousands of comments every week, and between taking care of kids and working, I just do not have time to go through a lot of them. But that's the best way to get a hold of me. Just shoot me a private message. So appreciate it, guys. We'll talk later.